Jimmy, what are you doing?
You know she's the best choice.
No, I'm not. I can't. I can't do it.
She can do it. You know she can
Jimmy,
do it.
I'll
You know
stay.
I'm
Stop.
right.
Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 8, Point and Shoot. Fantastic. Yeah, that was a hell of an episode start to finish. From the opening seconds until the very final seconds. The entire ploy by Salamanca was simple yet brilliant. He anticipated every move to near perfection, starting with the mid-season finale when he knew the tapped phone would send Gus's protection team into red alert. He knew that he could play on Jimmy's affections for Kim, and when Jimmy pushed to send Kim instead in hopes of saving her, Lalo didn't care. He knew her affections towards him were equally strong when she paid him an unannounced visit concerned for his well-being and his role of the bagman. Salamanca also knew Gus would likely have men watching his house to stop Kim, and that would lead to taking Tyrus off the lab. Salamanca was perhaps fortunate that it timed out where he went unnoticed on the surveillance cameras, but his plan worked. Gus was wise to have an emergency contingency plan, and in the end he was able to escape certain death where his instinctual foresight paid tremendous dividends. I thought the entire demise of Lalo was extremely well done. Bravo, Vince Gilligan. Bravo to the entire team that brought us Point and Shoot. So here we are, 5 episodes to go. And with 2 exceptions, we know the ultimate fate of every main character in Better Call Saul, either through Breaking Bad and or El Camino. In terms of new main players in the prequel series, Chuck took his own life, Nacho was willingly executed in the noble effort to spare his old man, Howard was murdered in cold blood by Lalo, and Salamanca himself met his end at the hands of Gus Fring. That leaves us with Kim Wexler and Gene Takovic, and I'm guessing this will be the heart and soul of the final 5. Kim might well be made of sterner stuff, but she was more than a bit rattled when thrown into deep water. Goodman was rattled too, but on this front he does seemingly have more experience points. The guilt over what they did to Howard would have been plenty for them to cope with in the aftermath of their scheme to ruin his reputation. But Howard getting murdered by Lalo in the entire ordeal amplifies this to a tremendous extent. Howard's name was ruined. His life was taken in cold blood. And now his reputation will be even more tainted in the aftermath with poor Howard's body presumed drowned. And the drug scheme taking full form with the planted cocaine in his car. I do likewise wonder if anyone will ever ultimately find the remains of Lalo and Howard beneath the torched lab, which would lead to even more questions about his involvement in drugs. Since the Season 6 premiere, I have been under the impression they were strongly hinting at the compelling possibility that Kim Wexler survives into the Breaking Bad timeline as some type of player. Now I'm not so sure if she winds up being a player, but my confidence is growing that Kim will indeed survive in terms of being alive. Maybe she runs away over her guilt. Maybe she winds up in prison. Or maybe she does wind up surviving as a behind-the-scenes player associated with Ice Station Zebra or something like that. I still think that was strongly hinted at in the first half of the season, but I do not believe she will ever be the same again after this experience. And I likewise believe this ordeal has given Jimmy McGill a huge push closer towards the finished Saul Goodman character we see in Breaking Bad. We know during the intense segment with Lalo that Goodman and Wexler care for each other deeply, both willing to risk their life for the other. This was the key detail that cued Gus to the fact that Lalo's designs for Kim and Jimmy were just a distraction, which led him to his final showdown with Lalo at the lab. Because Gus knows Lalo is too steadfast to be persuaded out of a strategic power play. We know when the pressure is on, they had each other's backs. Will that change now? Will resentment towards one another begin to pile up? Will the guilt drive them further apart or closer together? How the aftermath of Howard unfolds will likely lead Kim either to jail, to breaking Goodman's heart and leaving, or behind the scenes in Breaking Bad in some capacity, or something entirely different and unexpected. Whatever happens, they need to stick to the story that ruined Howard's good name, forever cursed by their own ill deeds. We also have the ultimate fate of Gene forthcoming, and we can assume there will be some elements from the Breaking Bad timeline, as we know to expect cameo appearances from Walt and Pinkman. I do wonder if that won't lead to a lot of time jumping, or if things will play out in a more linear style, although I'm inclined to suspect the prior. And whatever ultimately happens with Kim Wexler, either thematically or perhaps otherwise, will almost certainly tie in with Gene's ultimate fate. I have no idea what is going to happen. I ain't exactly Quasimodo over here. But I still firmly maintain that there is a tale to be told behind that golden throne. And it was nice to finally get more context on Jimmy's words about Lalo and Ignacio from Breaking Bad. Jimmy may have been told Salamanca ain't coming back, but he had been told that before, and his initial experiences with Lalo were beyond traumatic. Point and Shoot was, in my humble opinion, perhaps the greatest episode in all of Better Call Saul. For me, it provided that good of a viewing experience. My only minor quibble is that my dumbass was initially confused when Gus was executing Lalo. I actually thought Gus was either shooting blanks or maybe his weapon had malfunctioned before I fully realized what had happened. But overall, I thought it was a fantastic episode. Indeed, a powerhouse effort from Gilligan, the skipper, and the entire Better Call Saul team. And what a well-acted scene between Kim and Mike. Tight, 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 tight. Yeah. And I can honestly say, I am itching to watch the final 5 episodes. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful night.
Delicious chicken noodle fry.
Just stop. Listen, stop it.
Oh my God,
up.
okay, fine, yeah, her. Whatever. Give her the keys, give her the address, let's go.
He is there with Jimmy.
Salamanca's at your apartment?
Yes, he sent me. He wanted to send Jimmy, but then he sent me.
To do what exactly?
Ignacio Varga. He let them in. And who did Ignacio introduce me to? You.
Oh, no, 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 no! No, it wasn't me, it was Ignacio, he's the one! Lalo didn't send you? No, Lalo?
Who?
Oh, thank God!
You gotta believe me, hand to God, I had no part in this. It wasn't me, it was the guy! Ignacio! No! Stay put, we'll handle this. We will handle this. You call Tyrus, get him to the condo now.
You said you were watching us. Where were you? Huh?
Hermanos, delicious chicken noodle fry.
Lalo said he was coming back.
He's not coming.
No, he said he was. He told me.
You understand me? He is not coming back.
Before he dies, he will know I buried every one of you.
He was the only family you had left. Now, the Salamanca name dies with you.
There will be cocaine in the upholstery. That's the story you were setting up for this guy, yeah? You keep telling the lie that you've been telling.
You know, Quasimodo predicted all this.
Who is this? That, my friend, is Albuquerque's public enemy #1.
Hey.
We're done when I say we're done.
Hermanos, delicious chicken noodle fry.
You're done. You are done!